Gabe?
Jake, how much do you enjoy the game within the game whenever you put alignments out there that force them to have to burn their timeouts?
Well, that they're such a ball control team. It forced us to call these plays a lot earlier. So, we didn't know how many opportunities we were going to have, so we got to throw these certain sets out there as much as we could, and at the end it helped us win the game.
Front row, Kate?
What needs to happen to get Speedy more involved beyond just healthy, and how is he handling these stops and starts this season?
He's handling it great. He's going to continue to come along. He's just a little nicked up right now. You're going to see his role increase tremendously throughout SEC play for sure because he's such a talented kid and explosive kid. If you look last year at what he did at Mississippi State, he was one of the guys that came to play for us last year. So, you're going to definitely see Speedy's role increase each week.
And then with Christian Kirk, as a offensive guru, you just sit down and figure out different ways you can get him the ball. It has to be kind of a fun position for you to be in.
Yeah, exactly. The kid's got the home run talent, so you can, if you looked how we were backed up that one drive, we hit 2 plays in a row with it, and he took it about 90 yards. That's just the kid's got the capability of it, of just hitting a home run shot. And, that always plays into our advantage where you can do a little toss pass and it goes for 45 yards. So that's something that it's fun to watch. The kid's very talented, very driven, and you're going to continue to see his role improve as well.
Middle right, Sam?
As you've tweaked the quarterback rotation and how you guys use them, how do you feel like each of those guys are handling the situation? Kyle with coming off the field for Kyler, and Kyler with the specific situations that you've given him. How do you feel like they're handling that in terms of mentally, competition-wise, overall?
I think they're handling it great. I talked to both of them about it. We repped, I practiced repping Kyler throughout the week of the substitutions in the middle of a drive. So, they were ready for it. They understand our running back situation right now with James. We weren't sure if he was going to be capable of going, so I definitely had to have a package with Kyler because he has a special talent, obviously, and I thought it kept the defense on their toes. I thought that they changed up their defensive play calls when you put Kyler out in the game compared to when Kyle was. So I think both of them are handling them great right now.
We'll go to Cease and then Zach.
Jake, when you went back and analyzed the third downs, 2 for 9, how much of it was your execution or lack of, or how much maybe Arkansas did something you didn't plan for on those calls?
I think it was a lot of lack of execution, and also, sometimes our second down calls ended up in negative plays, which forced us in situations that were pretty tough to overcome. There was a screen on the goal line to Trey Carson. That was like a 3rd and 19, I believe, and there was a 3rd and 6 where Trey got tripped up. We didn't have very many third downs if you think about it in a game, but when it comes down to it, we didn't execute at times when we needed to.
Zach and then Gabe.
Coach Summerlin had mentioned that conversion in the red zone was something that you guys were going to put a lot of emphasis on. Are there any particular things that you have to emphasize, I guess, in practice for that, or how you're able to fix it?
Yeah, no, we improved from last week. Last week we had a turnover on downs and we kicked 3 field goals, and then coming in this week we had 4 trips to the red zone. We scored 2 touchdowns. It's mainly eliminate negative plays. We've always emphasized that once you enter the red zone, we've always got to be moving forward, and you have to have successful plays. And if you look at the 2 times that we didn't score, we kicked field goals. We had some negative plays. We had some mental mistakes. We had an exchange problem on a second down. And then also we took a sack where, Kyle, just part of the growing process, he needs to, recognize where he's at on the field and throw it away. So, still we got a long ways to go, and we just got to keep learning and getting better each day. But, that's definitely an emphasis that we preach every single week to these kids about. We've got to finish in the red zone. We need touchdowns, not field goals.
All right, side Gabe, and then we'll go to Daryl in the back.
Jake, how's Kyler progressing in the offense as a passer and reading defenses and things like that? And where do you see his role continuing to expand in the passing game as the season goes along?
Oh, it's going to expand a lot. Right now, early in the season, we don't have very many tendencies. So, you throw Kyler out there, and we ran the ball every time with him, which, the kid is capable of throwing the ball. I've seen him do it, all through his high school career, and what he does in practice is pretty spectacular. So, you're going to see that evolve as well. We just got to, he's young, we got to keep him coming along and keep improving him on terms of learning the offense and just keep getting him more valuable reps, and you're going to see his role increase as well.
Standing in the back, Daryl.
Coach, I have two questions, and one I probably should have asked Coach Sunderland, but didn't know if you might be able to enlighten us. On the field goal that could have possibly won it at the end of the ball game, what happened there with Taylor?
I have no idea. I wasn't even watching it. I was getting my overtime calls ready by that point, so I couldn't tell you.
All right. And then can you talk about Mississippi State's defense and just how tough they are? I think they've given up a couple of touchdowns over the last couple of ball games. So moving the football against them, at least the last couple of opponents, has been pretty tough.
Yeah, they do a great job. Manny Diaz have gone up against him a few times. He does some exotic things, but the thing about this defense is they're very big. They can plug gaps pretty good, and they're going to make it. They're going to make it hard on us, especially from a physicality standpoint. And they have done a great job, especially last week versus Auburn. They didn't even allow a touchdown. They had a goal line stand. They made him kick 3 field goals, which, we got a tough challenge ahead. That it was a great win versus Arkansas, but our kids know what lies ahead in this SEC West division, and I think we're looking for the challenge. And coming off of last year, I think there's a lot of motivated kids, and I think we got to come out here and try to prove a point.
Middle right, go to Aubrey and then Brent.
There was a lot more of, I guess, what I'd call traditional screens in this game against Arkansas. Was that a product of your offensive line and how they've been playing, and you thought they might, come upfield a little more, or was it more about the style of defense that Arkansas was playing? Is that something we're going to see a lot moving forward?
I thought it was a little bit of both. The Arkansas mentality, they came out wanting to stop Trey Carson, and that was why that pass across the middle of the field to Christian Kirk that he scored on, it was all due to how they're playing Trey Carson. But, I considered those screens, just ways to, a normal like run game, just a way they would substitute on third downs. They'd put their pass rushers in the game. So I knew they'd be doing line stunts, so I thought it would be an easy way to get Trey Carson the ball. So I guess it's kind of a little of both of how Arkansas was playing us in certain situations. But, we go in each week with screens. One of the things I thought Kyle had the hot hand, and he was throwing it pretty well. So I figured that they were expecting him to throw down the field. So with the way Kyle was throwing the ball, also set up for success in the screen game.
We'll go Brent and then Colin in the back, and then Sam will wrap us up.
In your two tightest games, Arizona State, Arkansas, how impressed have you been with the way Kyle Allen has responded in the fourth quarter with the games on the line?
Yeah, that's another emphasis that we talk about with the team each week is you got to win the fourth quarter, and I think Kyle has done an unbelievable job at that. And you've seen his play elevate in tough times and crucial situations. And the way that fourth quarter and the overtime, he was making such mature decisions that he probably wouldn't get to last year, but the experience that he's had got him in that situation. The touchdown pass to Christian Kirk was a check by him in the overtime, which, we discussed about it all week. That's the first time we threw that set out there and put Jordan Davis in the game because, we didn't get very many plays. So, the way they adjusted to it, Kyle recognized the defense and he threw a great ball to Christian. So, it's pretty impressive how that kid continues to get better each week.
Standing in the back, Colin.
Back here, Coach. I think Mississippi State is 8th nationally in third down defense. And you touched on their defense a little bit earlier, but how much are you kind of focusing this week on executing on the early downs just because of how strong they are on third down?
Yeah, that's a huge emphasis as well. Our first down efficiency has got to be, on point. And last week I thought we did a great job. 17 of the 22 first down calls we had, we gained 4 more yards on, and that's the goal that we try to approach each week is. Try to get more than 4 yards on your first down call because, if that happens, you're going to continue to move the ball successfully. So, they're a great team. They do a great job defensively, and it's going to be a tough test for us. And, we've got to take advantage of each situation we possibly can.
We'll wrap it up with Sam.
A couple things. When the second and goal play, when Kyle got tackled for a loss, was that a mistake on a read there by him, or what happened there?
He said that when he was with the exchange with Trey Carson, he said that he had a bad hold on the ball, so he just kept it and just didn't want to force a fumble. Which obviously ball security is the thing that we've been preaching as well. But I'm glad the ball didn't land on the ground, but he was trying to hand that ball off to Trey Carson. And
then on his first touchdown pass, Kirk looked like he took a pretty big hit. How do you feel like he's handled standing in the pocket and throwing with pressure in his face?
I thought it was an unbelievable play. Again, that was a play action to Trey Carson where, they did something that we've never seen on tape, and they actually looped two linebackers through one gap, and we're responsible for that one. And he knew it. And he knew that Christian had his guy man-to-man, that if he can hold on to it one for a second longer, it's going to be a big play. And, you know, it takes some poise to sit in the pocket when you got a linebacker coming at depth at full speed and sit in there and deliver an accurate ball. And I thought he did a great job with that.